It's time to catch the vision. It's Two Blind Crew. What happened? What happened? What happened?
That's correct. That's what I thought. But
It's time.
oh, should we let that one go? Play it back.
Yeah. Two Blind Crew. Two Blind Crew.
Daddy, what's wrong with you?
Hello, it's time to catch the vision, and we're the Two Blind Crew. I'm Greg.
And I'm Jeffrey. How do you do?
Good morning or afternoon.
Oh man, we're still pumped up from the last show.
Or good night.
Get together every couple of weeks and pound out a couple of these episodes just because, mobility is an issue for us blind folk. So we do what we can do when we can do it, but we got to calm down. We just did a rather funny one, having lots of fun here between shows. But wanted to share kind of a more serious thing, just to let you guys know. We did the very first welcome video, welcome podcast, talking about who we are and our backgrounds and kind of what we're kind of thinking. But really, I wanted you to get a feel for, okay, what is this going to be beyond some blog posts and a cool website, from what I understand.
It looks good to me.
That's what it looks great to me. Actually, my boy, my young man, he's a brilliant young feller.
Thanks to our producer.
Is for hire. You like our website and you want... No, seriously, So, catch the vision. Beyond having fun, beyond the things that we're doing, just hit a couple highlights. One day, if time and money and resources were not a limitation in any way, shape, or form, what would we do? How do we do it? And I know there's a couple general areas, and we'll talk about them a little bit here in depth as we go. But we definitely want to gain influence and power, great and mighty power.
Oh, boy.
We could be like advocates and raise awareness for not only the blind, but disabled folks in general, to kind of create a more positive and type of environment where we're taken more seriously, where we're given a chance to perform in the workplace, and to also move into mobility and health issues. Because again, with the mobility, we're not always out jogging, as you might imagine, doing things.
It's not easy to do that. You get hurt.
So from your perspective, Mr. Greg, again, if time and money were no thing, and don't worry, we're not asking you to donate or anything, not yet. That's down the road at some point.
It's just
we'll move in that direction. But for now, let's just sort of paint the picture. And what's in your mind? What's in your heart, there, sir?
Oh man, there's so many areas that need attention in folks, and I think a lot of our friends that have been around us for any length of time see and they understand and they know when to help and when not to, and just being more accepting of this particular situation for blindness, for deafness, for handicaps. It's huge to be able to understand what the people go through. And with that in mind, the advocacy, the maybe, helping folks get the help they need, especially when we as handicapped folks get into down times where we need somebody to spend some time with, or maybe we need a ride to the doctor, or maybe we just need some help. So, I mean, there's so many areas that we could be involved in: local businesses, local churches, local organizations, to help bring some awareness to actually dealing and helping handicapped folks. It is hard to get work. There's plenty that we can do. I have a lot of computer skills and musical stuff. There's just a lot of things that we can do, and it requires a little more work on an employer's part, or at church, if you were to work at a church or something. But once that happens, it's amazing what we can do that a lot of folks can't.
And let me just interject right there. You want to talk about having a loyal employee. I can't even get it straight. But, just as an example, back in my radio days, I didn't, for a long time, I lived in an apartment complex literally right behind the radio station. I could walk there and get there no problem. But for about half of my time in radio or more, I was still driving. Questionable whether I should have been or not. but I mean, oh my goodness. In order for me, because there's so many guys in radio that probably shouldn't be there, and I may or may not have been one of those, probably was. But there's so many people that would kill, to be on the air, or especially in like Tampa was 19th largest market. So consequently, I knew I had to rise above. I couldn't be calling in sick because I couldn't get a ride. I mean, I would get there at, before 4:00 in the afternoon in the fall when the sun would go down early, so I could be there for my shift that didn't start until midnight.
Yeah.
And then, you get
You
off.
have to drive while the light's out.
Yeah, during the week, you get off at 6 a.m. You wouldn't get out until 8 a.m. On the weekend. And even then, then you got the sun was low, just coming up. I'd have to wait till, after 9:30, 10 o'clock so I could drive safely to get back home. I mean, I was always there. So, but you want to talk about loyalty because of, necessity? Well,
thankfulness too, just to have a job like that.
Yeah, thankful, and you know how hard it is to get a job, and the last thing I wanted to do, I was okay with getting fired because, man, you stink. your ratings are horrible. You don't make any sense. You're terrible. I could handle all those things, but the one thing I couldn't handle is, I lost the job of my dreams or whatever, because I couldn't get there, and that wasn't going to happen. I think for a lot of people, once you get a job, you'll do whatever you got to do to keep it, because you know how hard it is to get one.
Well, but the other thing is that if you can't drive, see, once you get there, if they don't take you home, you're there. You're going to get a lot of extra work. But one of the best things that I had going for me, because I worked at a local church for like 16 years, and the best thing I had going for me was my stubbornness. I would. It was hard to stop me, and so if something needed done, I would start doing it, even if I couldn't see. Part of my very first part of the year at the place that I worked was facilities manager and volunteers ministry coordinator. So I set up worship chairs, and I set up this, and I set up that. So I would just start. I'd start unstacking chairs and snapping them together and making these lines, and half the times they weren't particularly straight, but people would see me doing that, knowing that he can't see anything, but yet I was trying, and I would get it done. But the best thing, I pulled the Tom Sawyer thing on a lot of folks, and I'm sorry if you're out there and you're hearing me and you're one of them, but people would jump out of conversations after church or before an event, and they would start helping. They would put the tables up and the things, and eventually there was so many people helping, I'd just go in the office, but the fact is that sometimes when you're stubborn and you have a handicap, it drives us to work harder because of that.
Morale booster for the rest of the quote unquote normal employees or
right.
normal congregants or whatever. They see people like you and I playing the music at church, and it's like, and not everyone has the ability to play an instrument or whatever, but even like in a workplace or something, it's like, man, this guy's killing it. I got to step up my game. So I think it drives efficiency and productivity throughout an organization.
It does, and it's part of it. I do have something that's going to slow me down, so I like to work my hardest, and not bragging or being egotistical. It's just the way that I feel like that we should strive to do. Is to not let folks see that because there's a handicap. And the other thing was, I did a lot of counseling later in the area of recovery or just general church counseling stuff. But with one eye missing and it generally causing problems, and a lot of the health issues I had and a lot of my addiction issues early in life, I've heard many times that for me to stand up and confess, that I was on methadone for years, and now I'm a pastor, gave me some creds that people would take more seriously, the counsel that was there. So I don't know. I think that you and I both have that. So that's really where we would like to go with the show is to try to find some way that we could advocate for for jobs, for ways to make life a little easier for us, the ways that, so we're open to your thoughts and suggestions.
We both got plenty of speaking creds, to use your term.
Yeah, creds.
So, we've gone speaking places, been, radio and TV in various capacities. So kind of know how to work the whole media angle and to try to help to raise awareness. I don't think that part's going to be a problem at all. One of the things I think, because we're kind of running out of time here, trying to keep these to a certain length, is the whole health and mobility thing. I think a lot of us, as we lose our sight, or folks that are suffering from other disabilities, maybe they can't walk or get around as easily as they once could, or maybe they never could, we tend to have pretty darn sedentary lifestyles.
Yeah.
Not healthy. And I don't think it's because, people are lazy or we just give up. I think it's a necessity thing. I've been blessed,
It's very hard.
Yeah, we've had a treadmill that we got for nothing through, a perk thing that my wife used to work for Verizon down in Tampa, and it's pretty expensive one. I wouldn't have been able to buy it otherwise. But man, I'll just get on that thing and walk. Sometimes I'll run. I can't do it any other way. So and gyms memberships are, some of them are definitely more affordable than others. But there's the whole angle of again, the mobility, being able to get people there, being able to afford it. A lot of folks are on fixed incomes. They can't afford, to pay $50 a month or $60 a month for an individual or a family membership. And then once they get there, the embarrassment or the hesitation or the fear of being able to get around, because not everyone knows that certification places like the National Strength and Conditioning Association has special training for personal trainers that deal with people with special populations, people that are disabled, people that are geriatric. So there's help out there. I just don't think people are aware of it, and I just would love for us to be in a position where, we can not only speak to groups of disabled folks and motivate them to get out, but to empower and equip them and hook them up with gyms in their area and be able to scholarship and help them, subsidize, whatever you want to call it, gym memberships or have activities and things like that.
Yeah, it's real important.
Yeah.
And you can look at us if you're on the YouTube thing, on the podcast stuff. You may not notice it, but I'm definitely the more fit and better looking guy. Actually, I'm lying. Jeff's been really working hard on this diet and everything, but I'm
I get no respect.
I'm old and overweight, so it's out there now. Just in case you didn't know that. But no, it's very important, and there's a lot we need to go over in the next few episodes.
Yeah. So keep your checkbooks handy. You don't need to send anything in yet. But yeah,
later in life.
Yeah, eventually, one day down the road at some point, we definitely are going to need funds to, it costs money to start a 501c3. There's legal fees. There's, I think it's $750 last I checked just for a federal, the fee to get that. And then there's, there's all kinds of stuff. So
well, and also we may need your help in pulling some of the stuff off in the form of arms and legs and volunteers. So there's going to hopefully be a lot of needs, and we can all partner together and really do some good stuff in the future. So
now, in closing, if you're disabled, whether it's from blindness or something else, and you've got a particular thing, a particular area you struggle in that we didn't mention in the Catching the Vision, because, by the way, this is Christian Life Insights with two blind guys without sight. Habakkuk chapter 2 tells us, and I'm paraphrasing, for us to write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he who reads it may run, for the vision is yet for an appointed time.
yeah,
It will not fail. So it's going to happen. As a matter of fact, we should write the vision down and get it up on the blog here at some point soon. And if you got something to add to it, something that you'd like to see us tackle, or if you have a church somewhere in the Carolinas or relatively close, and you'd like us to come speak to your group, or you have a business and you'd like to have us come speak, and help to get the ball rolling with wherever you're at, whatever you're struggling with, or whatever you'd like to see happen in your organization. Absolutely, give us a message at info@twoblindcrew.com, or if you specifically want to talk to Greg, it's greg@twoblindcrew.com. And as you might imagine, I am Jeff at twoblindcrew.com.
Love to hear from you. We need to know what you guys think about this. So please do not hesitate. Good, bad, ugly. Just let us know how we can help, or what you think the vision, what could be added to our vision.
Thanks for spending time with us at Two Blind Crew. On behalf of my daddy Jeff and Greg Greg McLaughlin, be sure to stop by our website, twoblindcrew.com. Follow us on Twitter at twoblindcrew. And like us on Facebook. See you next time. Can I have my money now? I'm serious. I want my money now. Mom!